Hi viewers and welcome to my channel. My name is Trifina Brown and of course I'm offering hope and encouragement as you heal. Welcome to my channel. Today I want to talk about the top 10 tools that I use during my recovery, and you got to watch to the end because I always have an encouragement at the end for you. But today I want you also to comment and tell me which ones resonate with you more and which one you use or your family members use. These are things that I used all the time during my recovery process. So some are huge, so I'll put a picture maybe, but some are smaller, so I'll show you. So I used a wheelchair a lot, and the wheelchair was like a buddy, right? It had a pouch in the back that I could take my things in, my purse, my gait belt, which I'll talk about as well, and took me around. It's my little transport because I couldn't walk around. It was hard for me to wait in lines. I couldn't walk. So for those of you who are just seeing this for the first time, I had a stroke, and this channel is about my recovery process, and I offer hope and encouragement to those people who may be down or those who are suffering. So in a nutshell, that was what happened. But my wheelchair was the thing that I needed all the time. I remember I went to a concert and my friend was pushing me in my wheelchair because I couldn't walk. They had closed down the road from the hotel to where the arena was, and there was hardly any transport going around, and we called an Uber, but because that road was blocked, you just can't see them coming. And we did it a couple of times and we're like, oh my goodness, we have to walk home, but I couldn't walk. So she was pushing me, she in the wheelchair. So the wheelchair was very important. It was my mode of transport. And so that was one thing that I used a lot. The other thing I know that people don't think about, I'm going to try to show you here. Let me see. Oh, my green screen is getting in the way, but here it is. And I know you probably don't know what it is. I'll tell you. It's actually a chair mat. It's big, so I didn't get to show you all of it. But when I went back to work, I work from home. I sit on a chair, but the office chair is immovable. And so to protect me from not sliding off that chair or falling, because at one point I didn't have enough balance as well. So that mat kept the chair sturdy from sliding and rolling back and forth with me, keeping me as safe as possible, prevent me from falling. And initially I was also on blood thinners. So if you fall and you're on blood thinners, not a good story. So you can bleed. So that chair mat was prime material for me to have. That was one of my tools. So that's number 2. Number 3, I had a bath chair, shower chair, which was there for me to sit in and have my bath. So I wouldn't, I couldn't stand. So I had to sit. And then even after, when I could stand, and the balance was not that, was shaky. So for the length of the shower, I couldn't stand. So the bath chair was there, and I had that for a long time. I still have it standby if I'm not feeling up to it, or if I also have to wash my hair, it takes longer. So that shower or bath chair, pretty significant. So that's number 3. Number 4, this. In the islands, we call it a clothes peg. We use it to put clothes on the line. I'm not sure what the other name is, but what I use this for is my hand to do fine movement, and they were exercises for me. And when I graduated from the larger movements of my left hand and I needed to get those fine movements, then I would practice on that all the time. My daughters would be watching me. Mommy, did you do it today? I had to do those. So that was one of the tools that I used all the time until my strength came back in that particular hand. And it took some time, but I used it all the time. I used a lot a gait belt, and you'll see a picture of it on your screen. But what that helped me is when I went to therapy and when I was practicing at home to walk, that gait belt I wore around my waist so the person who is assisting me can hold on, grab on if they need to prevent me from falling, or they just hold on to it for the length of the time that I am working or that I'm walking. It's easy access for them to grab. It's secured around my waist, so if they try to grab my clothes, that can slip and slide, but they can grab this gait belt and it would help them to secure me, to keep me safe. And so everywhere I go in my wheelchair, in that little pouch I told you about, my gait belt was always there. And so even if I went to maybe a church, even that concert that I went to, I had that on when it was time to move from the chair to a car, or if it was time for me to step somewhere, then that belt is on so that person who is assisting me can grab it. The therapist, occupational and physical therapist at the rehabs, outpatient and inpatient, they do nothing without that gait belt. You have to have it on because it's a security safety measure for them and for you as well, to prevent you from falling. So that thing lived in the back of my wheelchair all the time, at home and at rehab or anywhere I go. So here's another thing. It's a cane. So it's 2-in-1. I'm going to say walker and cane. I use those all the time. I was using a walker before I graduated to a cane, and I felt like a big girl when I graduated from the walker to the cane. But I use those a lot because they help with my mobility. They gave me hope, made me feel confident. They supported me so I would not fall, because at the time I was not independent, and I used them for a pretty long time. I depended on them. I trust them. They are adjustable. They have little prongs on them and they adjust to your height, and therapist of course helps me with the adjustment, and then I know the setting, and then my family knows that everywhere I'm going, my wheelchair, my gait belt, my cane, or my walker, everything is packed up with me, because those help me really good. And I appreciate the availability of those devices to help keep me safe. Otherwise, I would not be able to do the things that I needed to do. I know people don't think about this as a tool during rehab or during recovery, but I'm going to show you is my devotional. It's a book. It's a devotional. It's called You're Going to Make It. And reason why it's important to me is because I needed spiritual inspiration along my journey so that I wouldn't feel down all the time, because it's daunting and can be when you're going for some time without being independent. And so the devotional was good for me. And interestingly enough, I wrote a devotional as it relates to, and it's called Healing with Hope, encouragement from one who walked the path. And it's a good accomplishment for me. It happened as I went through my healing process. And I wrote it for people who are going through something that needs some encouragement and some hope. And so I think I have something in the description with regards to how you can get it, but a devotional was something that I needed, and I used it every day. And for this particular one, it was morning and evening. So I really, really depended upon some inspirational message to get me through the day. Yeah, that's one of my tools that I use. The other one was this. Weights. And it helped me to regain strength. I had to do exercises with weights daily. I would strap it on my arms, strap it on my legs, and do those exercises. And I had different measurements of weight, different weights, depending on where I was in my rehab process. And my therapist gave me instructions each time. So I know the different exercises to do. And it's something that I did when I went to rehab and also when I was at home all the time. Up and down, all around, to make sure that I was doing those exercises to keep my strength and enhance my strength. And so I still have them that I use, weights all the time. And so that was one of the tools that I depended on and I used all the time. And the last tool that I want to share with you, because it's just my top 10. Now I have a lot of tools that I use, but I just wanted to share with you the top 10. And this one was my gripper. And I used it for grip strength. And then these rubber bands represented the different strengths. So for example, they would start with less, and as I get stronger, they added more, and I had to pull it. And it helped me with my grip strength, and I used those for a long time. But it helped. I am back 100% strength with my left upper extremity, my left hand, but I needed to use the tools and do the exercises. And the one thing that I want to emphasize is these had to be used in a certain way. Only then could I trust that they were going to do what they were designed to do. I had to also listen to my occupational physical therapist, and I did have some speech therapy. I didn't have anything wrong with my speech, but speech therapy also dealt with cognitive impairment, and so I had speech therapy as well. But they teach you to use these devices, and I had to use them exactly as they told me to. I trusted them with my care, and not by using my own opinions. My own opinions didn't matter. I had to use the opinions of the professionals in order to use these devices effectively. I trusted in the process and in the efficacy of the devices for my safety and my protection, and also in assisting me to do my regular daily activities. I trusted my caregivers. I trusted using my tools. So encouragement for today is from Proverbs 3 verse 5. Trust in the Lord with all of your heart and lean not to thine own understanding. Friends, it is always super important to have something or someone to lean on during times of suffering, during times of despair and recovery. I was guided by therapists, but God offers counsel and direction through some of your life challenges, maybe all of life challenges. The therapist knew the best route for my healing. God knows the best path and the best route for your lives. And in that way, follow him so you can have spiritual healing, hence an enhanced outlook on life. There were times when I tried to rely on my own understanding, and those were the times that I almost fell, was not following protocol and was trying to do my own thing. Do not try to navigate difficulty by yourself. I tried to navigate difficult situations on my own, and it was risky. And I learned that I need to navigate difficulty with help. Seek proper guidance and understanding, because you will realize that it will help you in the long run. Friends, share this if you think it will help someone. Also, remember to put in the comments how this impacted you, and also you can subscribe to my channel. Also, use the links to get that devotional if you want it. But take a moment to reflect and surrender your challenges to God today. God is always there, even when we try to overcome challenges without his guidance. So seek some help from him today. Bye now.